Hello everyone, and welcome to our quick little tutorial on some Gmail tips and tricks that you might find to be useful. Now, as you can see, I have quite a few messages here in my inbox. I should actually spend some time cleaning it, but let's say with all these messages that I have, I decide I need to find some specific ones, maybe ones from my friend Nancy. And if I just go and use the search box at the top of Gmail, I can find emails that have come to me from Nancy or include her in some respect. Or I can click on her name and that will filter out any messages where Nancy is featured. And then from there, I can click on them and read them if I wish. Now, if I want to get rid of this little kind of filter up here, I can just click the X and I'll go back and I'll click on my inbox and that'll return me to all of my messages in the inbox. Another thing I can do, especially when I'm cleaning up a mailbox, is sometimes I might find that I get emails, say from a place that I've subscribed to, and they're just sending me junk. So if I see a lot of junk from a specific sender, I can right click on one of their emails and then I can find all the emails from that particular sender. If I go ahead and click on that command, I can then go and check these items off if I wish, and then just hit the trash bin to delete them, and that will get rid of them. By the way, the stuff that I throw into my trash bin will be there for 30 days, and then Gmail will automatically delete it for me. There's also, just so you know, if I click the little down arrow at the end of the search box, there's also a whole variety of other ways I can search. I can search for messages that I've sent to a specific person or messages based on a certain subject. What I find is very useful is that I will often check off this because very often I'm going back to a message to see an attachment that has been sent with it. So if I check off has attachment and I click search, it'll take a second or two, but I will find all the messages that have been sent to me that include an attachment on them. So I'm going to hop back to the inbox for one more time. The other thing I will suggest as well is sometimes I find that my glasses are starting to wear out. So sometimes what I want to do is I want to go and change the size of the font in my emails. So to do things like that, I go up to this little gear up in the corner called settings. If I click on settings, I can click see all settings, and that will take me into the internal settings of Gmail. And right now I'm in settings in the general area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move down here and I have an area called default text style. And that's where I can set how my text will look for the emails I'm going to compose. So I'm going to click this little down arrow here and I'm going to make my font size in my emails huge. So it'll look like that. Now, you'll notice that if you scroll through this, there's a whole ton of settings here that you can play around with your email. But always remember that if you do make a change, remember to click Save Changes. You have to scroll down to the bottom of the page and do it. But if you click Save Changes, at this point, if I go and I compose a new email, it doesn't have an effect up here, but it does have an effect in the main message area. Here is my message. So you'll see that it's a nice big font. But if I go and click up here in the to box and I type in the address of who it's going to, I won't really see a difference in font size there. But it's more important that you actually see a decent size font when you're composing the message itself. I'll also click here in the subject area and I'm just going to type in a very generic title and I will send it out. Now, another thing to keep in mind that you may wish to make use of is very often if you're new to Gmail, if you've switched over to it and you click the compose button, you get your little new message window over here. And sometimes people don't like the fact that it's much smaller than everything else. If you want to change that, you can click these three little dots down here called More Options. And when you click on that, you can choose to default to a full screen. So I'm just going to go and close this message off. Now, if I go click Compose, the message screen appears much larger and you might find it a little more comfortable to work with. So I'm just going to close this message off here. Now, that was just a handful of things to talk about in regard to Gmail. As you can imagine, it's a pretty extensive topic and there's loads of different tips and tricks. So if you'd like to learn more about Gmail, how to clean it up, how to organize it, some ways to do things a little more quickly and efficiently in Gmail, uh, get in contact with us and check out my website at www.gruntmulti.com, gruntmulti.com, and you'll find all the ways you can make contact with me, and I can assist you with any other computer or technical training skills you might have. Thanks very much for taking the time.